Now that we have our camera animating, let's go ahead and set up our Animator controller so that it doesn't animate right at the beginning, and instead waits until a player character has been selected. When we added the animation to our camera, an Animator controller was automatically added. I'm going to go ahead and double click that to open up the Animator in the Animator window. I can see our default state is the name of the animation we created, Camera Start Transition. We really don't want that to be the default state though, as we only want that animation to play once a player character has been selected. So I'm going to right click anywhere inside this empty space, and I'm going to select Create State, Empty. I'm going to name this state Character Select. This state won't need any motion. In fact, it's just a dummy state. It's not actually meant to do anything besides just sit there until we're ready. In order to transition from our Character Select empty state over to our Camera Start Transition state, which will cause the camera to animate, I'm going to create a transition by right-clicking on the Character Select state and selecting Make Transition. I'm then going to click on the Character Start Transition state and ensure that they are now linked. So I'm going to add a new trigger parameter named Start with a capital S. Finally, I'm going to click on the transition between Character Select and Camera Start Transition, and I'm going to configure it. We don't want any has exit time. That won't be necessary since Character Select isn't doing anything anyway. We do need, however, to add a condition. I'm going to click the plus icon for the conditions, and I will see that Start is our trigger condition. Now that that's in place, I'm going to save my scene, and I'm going to press play. We'll notice that didn't work. We animated immediately. If you'll recall, the last step we need, and I'm pretending like I did that on purpose, is that we need to set Character Select as our default state. We can do that by right-clicking Character Select and saying Set as Layer Default State. Now when I press play, I will see that the camera does not move at all. If I want to test this out, I can move my Animator window down next to the Animation window, select my main camera, and hit play. I should see the Character Select state cycling in the Animator window, though it doesn't actually do anything. If I want to test the transition, I can just check next to Start. When I'm done, I want to ensure that the Start trigger parameter is not checked. It needs to be empty or else our trigger will not function appropriately. I'm then going to redock the Animator window at the top to maintain my editor organization. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell my game manager about the main camera so that the game manager can tell the main camera when it's time to transition from one state to the next. I'm going to click on the game manager and notice underneath the player selection properties section a field called Camera Animator. I'm just going to click and drag the main camera over to that property. Now when I press play, and I select a character, my camera animates automatically. In the next section, we're going to modify the camera a little bit to allow it to follow the selected player and to also remove the animator when we're done with it.